Luke 21. We're going to look at verse 8 here. Now, I'm sure some of you are saying to yourself, why is this significant? Why are you even talking about this? What does this have to do with our people? What does this have to do with the awakening and opening our eyes? Well, I'm going to show you. Luke 21, verse 8. Give me verse 8 there.
And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived.
Okay, so he's telling his disciples right here, take heed that you be not deceived. Now we understand that Christ is he has enough sense to know that even though he's speaking his words to his disciples, that these words will be written again. These words will be read again. So he's not only talking to his disciples, he's talking to future followers. Future people who was going to make a decision to follow him. Now listen what he talked about, what that deception was.
Take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them.
Don't go after them. So he's telling us many going to come in Christ in his name. They're going to use his name and say that they're with Christ and they're teachers of Christ and they're the authority of Christ and they're followers of Christ. He said many are going to come in his name. But don't go after them. Why is this significant? Because these Christians, notice I'm quoting Christians, showed up on the coast of West Africa. These Christians showed up on the coast of North, Central, and South America. And through what they call colonization, murdered, raped, robbed, manipulated, deceived, tortured, and basically committed acts of genocide on every man, boy, woman, and girl that they came across. These same Christians, same people who say that they're Christians, who took over the standard and the authority of what the Israelites had given, were the same people that went to these nations, went to West Africa, went to the coast of North and South and Central America, and committed acts of genocide on all the people that were there. Now, later on throughout these series, and we go through the awakening, you're going to understand who all of these people were and what they have to do with you. But I'm just trying to get you an understanding of what this started out with and what it has become. Now, around 1513, a man by the name of Martin Luther, a German monk who questioned the leadership and the theology of the Catholic Church, and what we have been speaking of since 325, up until this point, is the Catholic Church, follows of Catholicism. Now, Martin Luther had a problem with this. He didn't believe in these things. He didn't think that these things were right. So in 1513, he introduced his thesis his document called the 95th Thesis, where he challenged the Catholic Church and challenged their beliefs, challenged their authority, and their right to dictate what followers of Christ were supposed to be. You know, the Catholic Church was responsible for all types of atrocities ever since their induction in 325. You go back and just research. This is why the world has a negative view of anybody who says they're followers of Christ, because some of the things that has been done through Catholicism in the name of who they call Jesus. All right? So on the surface, this would be a good thing. Somebody is challenging and saying and calling them out for not being what they were supposed to be. But the truth of the matter was, it was the same thing that was done back in 325. Martin Luther and all the rest of them, John Calvin, and all these different people who had set forth things after this was done, they were Gentiles. They were not Israelites. And remember, we stated that Israel was the only one that was given the oracles of God. Every writer in this Bible was an Israelite. So here again, we have Gentiles who were not given this truth, not given the oracles, not given the statutes and the laws and commandments, were the ones who were setting the standard and becoming the authority again. All right, and so what this did was it led to more confusion. It didn't solve the problem. It led to more confusion, which birthed denominations, which we have today. We have about 100, so I don't lost count of the denominations that you see who all consider themselves to be part of the religion of Christianity. So many different denominations, and this was birthed from this Protestant Reformation. And all of these denominations were started, and the standards were set by the founders, and their interpretation of the scriptures, or whatever particular focus that they decide to focus on. So whatever area of the Bible, you got people that will only preach Mark, Matthew, John, and Luke. They don't preach anything else. You got the Baptists, and they preach certain things as far as baptism is concerned, but they rarely go outside of certain books. You got some people who don't preach the Old Testament at all. You got some people that preach nothing but the Old Testament. You got some people who will preach Paul, but they won't preach anything else. And so basically you have a bunch of confusion, and you don't have the Bible being preached. Why is this significant? Go with me to Psalms 127. Why is this significant? Because we're talking about us again, right? We're talking about the so-called black man, the so-called African American. Why is this significant? Well, for starters, as we talked about back in February, the black person is the only person known for the color of their skin. There's nobody else in the world that is considered by the color of their skin. Nobody else but us in America. Because even when you go to Africa, the people who have similar skin tones, they don't call each other black. Over there, they call each other by the nation in which they belong to. But in America, we are the only people that are called black. We're called based on and categorized by the color of our skins. All right? So why is this significant? Because this is significant because these people who are the ones who are the writers of history, these people were the authority of the Bible. These people were the ones who have hidden who we are and refuse to tell us who we are. They have to know who we are because they were right there. How do they have a detailed history of themselves, but they don't have a detailed history of us? Right? You go through, and there's no movies ever made past the 1600s. There's no documentary that go past the 1600s. There is nothing. Only thing the average person in America that considers himself black or African American knows is, yeah, we used to be slaves. And what the truth of the matter is we're still slaves. In one form or another. And so what we have to understand is that this is significant because, as we stated in the outset, this Bible is written by Israelites. But yet, as time went on, the standard and authority was set by Gentiles. And remember back to what we talked about with the parable that I gave you of the Smith family diner. Started by the Smith family, taken over by Mr. Chang and his family. You understand? You seeing the parallel what I'm trying to get to you now? Now, you say, why is this significant to us? Psalms 127, verse 1.
Except the Lord build the house, then labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman walketh but in vain.
Unless the Lord build a house, they labor. The laborers are in vain. Now, understand what we're saying here. Did some of these people really try to be followers of Christ? Yes. Does some of the denominations in our country, the different denominations that you see, really try to be followers of Christ and do what thus says the Lord? Yes. But let me ask you this. Read that for them again so I can set this up just right.
Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it.
Okay, so that means that unless the word of God is the builder of that house, the labor is in vain. And you may say, my church been around for 100 years. Great. So were the buildings that was over in Greece and Rome. But the Lord was not the labor of that, was not behind that. So something lasting a long time doesn't mean that the Lord